Why can't I be happy that an evil man is suffering? Something bad happened to a person who I could easily classify as evil. And here's the thing, it wasn't even like the worst thing in the world. This is something that literally happens to thousands of people every year. But I know this person, they would rather have died than have this thing happen to them. I was on the phone with one of my friends who has a way different outlook on this guy than I am. Basically, if she thinks he's Princess Bubblegum, I think he's Lucifer. Same. But basically, I don't like this man. And while I was on the phone with my friend, she kept talking about how sad she was and how he didn't deserve this. And I mean, she's one of my best friends, so I had to be there for her. I had to console her. I had to go through all this. Then it dawned on me. I was literally pretending to be sad about this man just because of my friend. And I'm like, why am I expected to be understanding towards my friend's situation, but no one is expected to be understanding towards mine? This might be false, but you know the Bible story where David kills Goliath? Let's run a thought experiment. Let's say you were Goliath's son, right? I know he didn't have a son, don't come from me Christianity. Let's just carry out this experiment. Let's say he had a son, and your father is this hero, and he's single-handedly winning battles for your nation. He's so important to your society that his status trickles down to you. Then all of a sudden, you hear that he's dead by the hands of this kid from this other region, which you've probably never even heard about. In an instance, you've lost your status, you've lost your security, you've lost your identity, and you've lost your father all in the same day. It would be very justified for you to be sad, to be grieving, to be bereaved even. But you being sad doesn't mean all of a sudden it's evil for David and the other Israelites to be happy. In fact, you don't deserve their sympathy in any sort of way, because I know this is just a thought experiment, but let's think of this literally. David and all the other Israelites are allowed to be happy that an evil man is dead. They celebrate, they throw parties, and we all know this story and we all approve of this story. When Goliath dies, it's a fundamentally good thing. So why doesn't this extend to other evil people in our society? Don't go off the off. I watched Bojack Horseman in its entirety last year, and before we go any further, I do believe there is a deep down. I believe that we have a soul or a spirit or something. I don't know what it is and I can't explain what it is, but I believe that it's there. And because I believe we have a deep down, I don't believe that we are defined by the things that we did, because what we did isn't necessarily who we are. But movies and shows like Cinderella, The Good Place, they don't necessarily agree with this line of thinking. For example, the evil stepmother is an evil stepmother because of how we see her treat Cinderella. The context or deep internal struggle of what she may be feeling doesn't matter at all. We're given no backstory, we're given no context, we're given no clues to figure out as to who she is on the inside. All that she is on the inside is everything she does on the outside. And because she's a summation of all the things we've seen her do, and all those things are evil, we hence call her the evil stepmother. But conversely, in movies like Anora, Little Miss Sunshine, Challenges, these rigid moralities are questions. We see people who we class as good people do bad things, and people who we class as bad people do good things. If I asked you to pick which characters align with our day-to-day perceptions of, normal human beings, you'd be more inclined to pick this one. And I believe that while these are objectively good characters, probably even better characters than the ones on this side, all the characters here just feel like people. Not good people, just normal human people. We can't classify people as good or bad, because then we quickly fall into the contradiction where the good guys have done bad things and the bad guys have done good things. And in the same way, the good doesn't forgive the bad that we've done in the past. The bad that we've done also shouldn't destroy the good that we've done. And using good or bad as labels is so dangerous, because if you are deemed bad by, society, your negative acts are bundled into one giant pile, and everything good you do must be disregarded, making the idea of changing pointless. Either that, or you use being bad as an excuse for your behavior, which just relinquishes your own responsibilities from the actions that you do in fact control. On the other hand, being labeled as a good person, like how my friend labeled this guy, underplays or dismisses your bad behavior. Because this is how the thought process works. Because you're a nice person, you are not capable of doing awful things. No. In fact, when you do awful things, it's because that was the only way, or that was the superior way, that was the right way, because you only have good intention. And we know your intentions are good because you are a good person. But you tell yourself that I'm not a racist or I'm not sexist, so the joke that I made couldn't be racist or sexist. For common sense, Common sense should obviously tell you that you aren't the joke that you make. Yet we use these excuses to mask ourselves. By accepting the praise of being called a good person, you are literally setting yourself up to an unrealistic standard that you'll never be able to attain, because then you're not allowed to make any mistakes. And since you're not allowed to make any mistakes, any criticisms of your poor actions or your errors automatically becomes a criticism of you, and it's a criticism that you must avoid to continue feeling like you're good. So you weren't ignoring all the advice because it wasn't presented to you nicely or it wasn't actually applicable. You ignored it because to you, you didn't feel like you needed it, because you are a good person, and a good person wouldn't do the things you are accused of doing. There's a Christian doctrine that says only God is good, because like the creator of Bojack Horseman said, we are all just people, and the key is to be people who try to do more good things and less bad things. Because as soon as you adapt to good or bad, that's all that you can be. My friend was wrong in describing this guy as a good person, but I was also wrong in describing him as a bad person, because in the end, the truth is he's just a guy. He's a very fucking weird guy, but you know, just a guy who lived a life and did all the things that he did. And I know you are probably watching this because you're obsessed with me for some reason. I've changed my number like 3 times and you keep still finding ways to call me. But admitting you did something bad doesn't absolve you of the consequences of the bad things that you did. And this isn't against the opponents of allegations. Deep accusations thrown out here. You're a fucking... You're a... And you're a... And in anger and pain, I could have angrily gone around spreading those facts. Instead, I'll just spread them on YouTube. I'm just even joking. I'll bleep all this out. But one thing that makes me happy is I didn't have to throw out all these allegations before you got found out. Like, all this stuff happening to you is literally just your past catching up to you. And that makes me very happy. And I'm tired of acting like it doesn't make me happy just because it makes other people sad. Because we have different oh my... Just because we have different views towards the same situation doesn't change the situation. And just because we have different views towards the same person doesn't change the person. You may love him, I may not love him. But he's still who he is, and we are each entitled to our own opinions about him. Yeah. Now, if you need help in any way, I'm still the person I am, so call me. I've changed my number. You find a way to find it. You are a freaking psychopath. I know you find a way to find it. But I'm still the person I am. If you need help with anything, you can call me. I'll answer. We'll talk. We spoke recently. Like, do it again. I don't mind. But I'm gonna just end this by saying, just because showing sympathy to someone going through something, even when that thing is their own doing, is a nice thing to do, doesn't mean it's a required thing to do. Because when you class sympathy or being nice or being kind as something that's required to do, then sympathy suddenly becomes something that they deserve or something that they are entitled to. And that's not true. I'm not a final judge, so I can't see the full picture from where I'm standing. So although I would encourage everyone to offer you sympathy and care and support in this time where you need it, I personally don't think you deserve any sympathy for being a good person, in the same way that I don't think you deserve any hate for being a bad person. But I do think you deserve everything that you're going through right now, and you should thank God every day that you're not going through much worse.